Great to see people joining me live on the TikToks and joining me live here on the StreamYard. JJ says, I adore how honest and real you are. Growing pains of technology. Oh, baby, it is so real. We're just taking it one step at a time. And honestly, that could not be a better demonstration of what I'm here to talk to you about today. First of all, I want to welcome you. Those of you who are here live, those of you who are here live, those of you who are watching the recording later. And I especially want to welcome those of you who have joined Get It Done Lab. You guys, the response to this program has been incredible. People are jumping on, they're in it, they're excited. I'm excited. It's so fun. So you want to go to therealsambennett.com/lab. You can see all the information about the program, but more than that, there's a whole hour-long training down. If you go scroll all the way down to the bottom of that page, you can see this whole thing about how to ask for everything you want and get it. And just that training alone is super valuable. So you don't have to buy anything. You don't have to register. You can just go there and look at that training. So I don't know about y'all, but these last couple of years have been a real season of grief and loss for a lot of us. I mean, we had the whole pandemic shutdown, right? Everything we knew went away, and then it continued to go away, and then it morphed into something really weird, and we couldn't be together. Everything we were doing, we couldn't do. It was rough. Well, we don't know to go into the specifics of it, do we? You all know what I'm talking about. And the pandemic is still with us, and we can't get back this time. And we feel different. I feel different now. Do you feel different? I feel like a very different person than I was 3 or 4 years ago. The whole way my body feels, the whole way my energy is, my relationships. I'm tempted to say I feel worse because in some ways I do, but mostly it just feels different. Mostly it just feels like I don't really know what's going on here. Like I used to know how all this worked and now I don't. And that's a really intimidating feeling, especially for those of us who are like, grown-ups. Like we're used to sort of feeling like, okay, I kind of got this. MK lost her dad. I lost mine too. My mom has moved in with me. I moved cross country. Like all kinds of things have shifted and changed. But at the same time, I feel like there's a little bit of a waking up happening. I remember when I grew up in Chicago, like towards the end of winter, you'd start to see these little crocuses poking up through the snow, little sprigs of life coming up, welcoming us maybe into a new time. And I don't know if it's the new moon, the new year, we're past the solstice, the days are finally getting longer. And plus a little bit of just compassion fatigue. Eventually you just have to be like, okay, let's just move on, Oh, John says he's transitioning his retriever today. I'm so sorry, John. Oh, what a heartbreak. We're with you, babe. It's the worst part of having animal friends is that we shepherd them through this chapter as well. Yeah, everything has changed since 2020. The world is now frightening. I've lost the person I used to be. Thank you. Thank you for being so honest. Oh, this is good. Cam says, wish you could possibly switch to the topic of beating procrastination. I can, and I will. But first we got to sort of lay the groundwork of where we actually are, right? Catherine says, just left an abusive relationship I'd been in for half my life, trying to look forward and embrace the chance to change. Yes, right. So we're trying to get into this new thing, this new world that, again, maybe we've been procrastinating on since 2020 as we're waiting to feel more secure, waiting to understand, waiting to know, waiting for signs and signals. And so I want to give you 3 important tips on this, and this goes to beating procrastination. 1, don't try to do things the old way. Stop looking back. Stop thinking it's going to work the way it used to. It's not. It's a different world. You're a different person. Breathe into it. When you catch yourself thinking like, oh, I wish we could just do this the old way, knock it off. By its own self, we're going to do things in a new way means you don't know the way, which means you have to become incredibly comfortable with imperfection and discomfort. And you guys are perfectionists. You have excellent taste. You have discernment. You love to do things with excellence. You're very good at what you do and have done. It's going to feel very weird. You're going to feel like a baby giraffe just kind of awkwarding around in the world. And that's okay. Feel comfortable with not knowing, feel comfortable with discomfort. That's why we call the Get It Done Lab a lab. It's a laboratory for you to experiment and try things so that then you can figure out what the new way is. And then you'll start to feel more settled and secure. But until then, don't expect to feel settled and secure. Don't wait for that like, oh, I feel perfectly confident feeling. No. Confidence comes on the other side. Confidence doesn't come before you try something new. Confidence only comes after you try something new. I'm sorry, I wish it weren't that way. I wish you could feel confident ahead of time, but you can't. Baby steps will lead to quantum leaps. Teeny tiny, incremental, seemingly insignificant baby steps will lead to quantum leaps. Again, that's the whole premise of the Get It Done Lab. 15 minutes a day, every single day for 90 days. That's it. 15 minutes of what? I don't know. You tell me. 15 minutes a day of reaching out to clients, 15 minutes a day of working on your novel, 15 minutes a day of clearing your clutter, 15 minutes a day of getting you out into the world again. That's really what we're focusing on, is get you out there, get your work out there, become more visible. Again, super uncomfortable, but you can do it. I know you can, especially if you're in community with people who support you, especially if you're just doing it a little teeny tiny bit a day, and don't freak yourself out about how you don't know what you're doing. Part of the reason I showed up here today looking like this is because this is how I am in my everyday. This is my favorite at-home work shirt. I didn't do anything with my hair, not that I usually do. And I just wanted to show you, like, do what's comfortable. Show up authentically as yourself. Quit thinking that you have to have everything all dialed. You have to know exactly what's going on, that you need to know more than you actually know, because you can't. But you will gain knowledge by doing things. So as we incorporate this season of grief, we're not trying to move on from it. We're not trying to recover. We're not trying to have closure. Grief is one of the streams of energy and emotion that just runs through our life. It doesn't really go away. So we acknowledge the grief and the loss. We acknowledge that things are different. And we start, like I said, just baby giraffing, awkwarding our way into the new thing. Cam says, what is missing from most self-help talks is that they usually view procrastination as a self-sabotage habit, but is it not a perfectly hidden depression, somehow genetic? Sometimes it's depression. Sometimes it's just the waiting time of a project. Sometimes projects have their own timeline. Sometimes there's that mysterious sort of spiritual readiness, that we're waiting for. I don't know. Procrastination is a big word that covers a lot of things. And, but yeah, sometimes it's a mask for depression, for sure. Lucy says, you always look awesome. Pshaw, Lucy, you're so sweet. Veronica says she appreciates the verb awkwarding. Yeah, let's just awkwarding ourselves out there. Amy says, I changed up my old routines. Working at home makes a huge difference. Yeah, seize the awkward. Yes, seize the awkward. Exactly. This is my invitation to you. Go check out therealsambennett.com/lab. Speaking of feeling awkward and doing new things, one of the things I have offered as a bonus to the lab, I don't even know what to call it. Nice girls from Chicago don't say psychic. I'm very intuitive. I have excellent micro pattern recognition skills. I don't know what I am, but I meet people and I get downloads. I talk to dead people. I don't know. Things happen. So, let's talk about awkward. I feel so awkward. I'm inviting you, if you join Lab, if you're one of the first 16 to join Lab, you will get invited to this sort of soul intuitive sharing, channeling. I don't know what's going to happen. I've done it before in small groups live. I've just never offered it publicly like this. That is one of the bennies you will get from joining the lab, in addition to all the zillions of other benefits and bonuses. And so I want to invite you into that, and the discomfort of it, and how it could be maybe made a little easier if you were in a group. If you were joining, get it done lab. But if not, find another group. Find what works for you. Don't keep trying to do it the old way. Don't expect it to feel comfortable or perfect. Remember that baby steps can lead to quantum leaps. Thank you so much for being here. I love you all so much, and I'm so grateful that you're showing up for yourselves in this way, because that's what this is about, but you showing up for you. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Thanks for doing this with me.